Hello friends, today we are going to discuss electricity. Electricity is important because it plays a crucial role in our daily lives, providing us with light, heat, and power for various tasks and appliances. It becomes basic need in our day-to-day life. The electrical energy changes into heat and light energy. This is how the bulb glows. Benjamin Franklin is credited for discovering electricity in the 1700s. In the 1740s, he conducted experiments that contributed to the understanding of electricity and invented the lightning rod, which protected buildings from fires caused by lightning. In 1752, he conducted his famous kite experiment and demonstrated that lightning is electricity. Electricity refers to the flow of electric charge, typically carried by electrons, through a conductor like a wire. It's a form of energy resulting from the movement or presence of charged particles. Such electricity is classified into two types. One, static electricity, that is due to friction. 2, current electricity, produced due to flow of charges. These two will be discussed later. And now to understand how electricity behaves, we need to look inside structure of matter. Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. There are three states of matter which are familiar to us: solid, liquid, and gas. Matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Universe is thought to consist of three types of substance: normal matter, dark matter, and dark energy. Normal matter consists of the atoms that make up stars, planets, human beings, and every other visible object in the universe. As we discussed, atom is the smallest particle which cannot be seen through naked eye. Scanning tunneling microscope is the most advanced type of electron microscope, which enables us to see atoms, though indirectly. These atoms are the building blocks of matter. Let's get a look at the structure of atom. Structure of atom clearly explains us how the electricity works. Atom consists of nucleus, protons, neutrons, and electrons. Here, see the diagram that shows the internal view of an atom. Nucleus is the core part of the atom. Protons and neutrons together form the nucleus, where the protons are positively charged. Neutrons are neutral, that is, it has no charge. They decide the mass of an atom. And electrons are negatively charged particles. Electrons are subdivided into stable electrons and free electrons, where the stable electrons are stationary and the free electrons revolve around the nucleus, because it is primarily attracted to the positively charged protons contained within the nucleus. This implies that the reason why electrons are kept revolving around the nucleus is electrical forces of attraction. They revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits or shells called energy levels. Electrons rotate around the nucleus in one or more energy levels. Now the conductors and insulators, which play the major role in the concept of electricity. Materials that allow electrons to flow through them are known as conductors. And also, the materials with many free electrons are called conductors. Because of presence of free electrons, they allow the flow of charges through them. In conductor, there are no band gaps between the valence and conduction bands. This means that the electrons can move freely between the valence and conduction bands. The electrons have high mobility as compared to protons. Few examples of conductors are copper, aluminum, steel, and so on. Whereas materials that do not allow electrons to flow through them are insulators. In other words, materials with few or no free electrons are called insulators. Few examples of insulators are wood, rubber, glass, and so on. The diagrammatic representation of atoms in conductors, we can see that the electrons flies over one atom to another. That is when the force is applied, the electrons jump from one atom to another. It pushes the electrons strongly away the atom, and these electrons get attracted to the other atom. A number of electrons flow from one atom to the another atom. This flow of charge is known as electricity. I hope you understand the concept of electricity. Then moving to the types of electricity. Firstly, static electricity. a stationary electric charge, typically produced by friction, which causes sparks or crackling or the attraction of dust or hair. In static electricity, the charges are at rest and they are accumulated on the surface of insulator. That is, the charges are not moving and are built up on the surface of the insulating material. Whereas in current electricity, the electrons are in the state of motion inside the conductor. It is defined as the net rate of flow of electric charge through a surface. Here the charges are moving inside a conducting material, which is shown in the previous diagram. Let's see an example of static electricity. Useful charging. Here, the paint gun blows out the paint to the car, and the paint reaches the car. The paint is charged as it comes out of the nozzle. Here it is negatively charged due to negatively charged nozzle. The car must be earthed or connected to positive voltage. Now the paint is attracted to the car because of the opposite charges. This is static electricity. Let's move on to the current electricity. For current electricity, let's take a simple circuit for better understanding. Here, when the switch is closed, the electrons start to flow from negative plate of the battery to the positive plate. As we've seen, current electricity is generated due to flow of electrons. The mobility of electron is higher than the proton. The exiting time of the current electricity is larger than the static electricity. That is, the discharge of static electricity is faster than the current electricity. In static electricity, the charges do not move, and these retain at the surface of the material, because static electricity is the result of an imbalance between negative and positive charges in an object. While in the case of current electricity, electrons flow in the conductive body. The static electricity is used in machines to control pollution. That is the method of electrostatic precipitators to control air pollution. Painting machine and xerography. But current electricity is used to perform different operations, such as fan working motor operation. Current electricity is more useful because it is a steady flow of charges, whereas static electricity is a short burst of kinetic energy